you wouldn't be here if you didn't think books were exciting either. Hi guys, I'm Amy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have part 2 of my, I guess we should probably call it my spring book haul. I will link part 1 up here for you guys if you haven't seen it, which includes all the books that I've acquired recently from my local library at the sales and just their general sales section. But this next part will include books that I just bought from local bookstores, just online in general, a book of the month club pick, and then also quite the little haul that I got from the book depository with a gift card from one of my students and their family as an end of the year gift that allowed me to get some books I've written really jonesing for. So if you guys are interested in the new books that I have added to my collection, then go ahead and keep on watching. Let's get the book of the month pick out of the way. I selected for May The Flight Portfolio by Julie Oringer. This is a World War II story about a gentleman who decides to do what he can to get artists out of Germany and Nazi-occupied areas to safety. So out of their situations that they're in and saving them and their art. And this book just sounds incredibly fascinating. It's definitely chunky. It's about 550 pages, but you guys know I like longer books and I love historical fiction, and I'm excited about the conversation between art and the value of life and what makes one life more valuable than the other, or can you even say that? It's been getting a bit of buzz and I'm excited to see what it's about. Last month's book club pick for my local book club that I attend was The Horse Dancer by Jojo Moyes. This was my first experience with Jojo Moyes. I have read it, and this is about two main characters. One is a 14-year-old girl named Sarah who lives with her grandfather and in the city of London and owns a horse, and it's about her relationship with her grandfather and her horse and what happens when her grandfather falls ill. And then a young woman, well, not young woman, but a woman that is between like 20 and 30-ish, early 30s, named Natasha, who is a lawyer and is going through a divorce, and it's about what happens when Sarah and Natasha's lives come together. And that's the main gist of this story, and I will mention more about my thoughts in a wrap-up. When I was at Fred Meyer the other day, I saw this book for the umpteenth time, and I've been wanting to read it for so long now that I just bit the bullet and I bought it. And that is Wish Tree by Catherine Applegate. This is the story about a tree named Red and what happens when there is a little girl in Red's neighborhood that he feels like he needs to help. And you get to meet the creatures that live in the tree, and you get to learn all about trees, and I have read this. I really enjoyed it. But again, I'll share more of my thoughts in a wrap up. I have been hearing so much about this author that when I saw this copy at a bookstore here in town, I had to take it home. And that is The Flying Troutmans by Miriam Taves. She is everywhere on BookTube right now, and this is about a family who a mom falls ill, I believe mentally ill, and her sister comes in and she takes the kids and they go off to find the missing father who up and left them. And I love road trips and books about road trips, so I'm really hoping to get to this one this summer because it just seems like a great summer read. I picked up a copy of The Strays by Emily Bitto. I saw Britta at Britta Bowler talk about this book recently, and this is about the friendship of two young girls. One of these girls, I phrase that very odd, comes from a family in which her parents are artists and live a very bohemian, extravagant lifestyle, and it's about this other girl coming into the fold and what happens to them. I love stories from children's point of views, especially little girls, and just the art scene is very fascinating to me as well, and I'm really looking forward to this one. And when we were at the bookstore, my husband saw this and decided we needed it, and that is Neil Gaiman's Norse Mythology. I do believe this is just his version of the Norse myths. Excuse me. I don't know much else. I know a lot of people have really loved it. If you know more about it, be sure to let me know what you thought about it and what the general gist is. But it really is a very stunning book. Like it's a classy looking book. and one that I'm excited to get to. I don't know if you would consider this nonfiction or not. Where do myths fit into the categories? Let me know what your thoughts are on that. I'm not sure that I'm aware of where it should go. The last book of the bunch that didn't come from Book Depository, I picked up a copy of Next Year in Havana by Chanel Cleeton. This is, of course, a very, very well-loved romance story that has dual timelines. One which is Havana 1958 and then Miami 2017, in which we follow the granddaughter of the woman we follow in Miami, or not Miami, in Cuba. And I've heard amazing things. You guys know I've struggled with romance novels in the last year and a half or so. So I'm hoping that this might be the type of romance I need to reach for, and the companion novel just came out to this as well. So I saw that and figured I'd see what the buzz is about with the first one. So another one I'm hoping to get to this summer. And for the books from the Book Depository purchase that just came in the mail today, I completely forgot about placing this order. I don't know what that says, but it was a nice happy mail day regardless. I have Tortal, a spy's guide by Tamara Pierce. I have talked about Tamara Pierce over and over and over again. She was my favorite author as a teen and will always be a favorite author, and this is just kind of like a fun compilation of all the different characters that you see in this kingdom and universe, and I'm really excited to read it. And a book that has been getting so much buzz by so many people that just I trust their opinions so much. Doris at All D Books, April from Getting Hygge With It. This is a book, both of which are people that I feel I read very similarly to them, especially April, and they both swear by this book. And that is Hum If You Don't Know the Words by Bianca Murray. And this is a story about several characters during apartheid in South Africa. I'm really excited about this, guys. I have major, major hopes for this, which is a bit scary. She also has a new book coming out, I believe this year or the beginning of next year, and I'm really excited about it. So another one that I just want to read right now, but I can only read so many books at a time, aka one if I have my way, but I have to prioritize this. I have to see what this book is all about. And speaking of Miriam Taves, I decided to pick up a copy of All My Puny Sorrows. This is her seemingly most popular book, which is about two sisters, one of which is struggling with mental health, and it's about their relationship. And I really didn't know that until it came in the mail today. I just saw it and was like, yeah, I'll buy that. Chris at Chris Bookish Cauldron talked about this book recently and how much he loved it, and I'm very excited about it. And you guys know I enjoy a book that delves into the concept of mental health and how that can affect people, both those who are suffering from the mental health issue and their families and people that are close to them. So high hopes again for this one. I also was so excited that they had a copy of this nonfiction book that I've been wanting to read forever now and just haven't managed to get my hands on, and that is Are We Smart Enough to Know How Smart Animals Are by Frans de Waal. And this book is exactly that. It's about the fact that we may not be capable as humans to discover how smart animals are because they don't work in a paradigm like a human does, because they're not human. And that whole concept is so cool to me. When I read Inside of a Dog by, oh gosh, what's her name? Alexandra Horowitz several years ago and loved it, I quickly found this book, but just had never gotten my hands on it. So excited about this one. I'm excited about all of them. Can you tell? But books are exciting. You wouldn't be here if you didn't think books were exciting either. So if you've read this one, share your thoughts, please. I have high hopes. Again, maybe I should just call this High Hopes Book Haul. This next book is a book that I have looked at so many times at different bookstores and online, but this particular hardback edition was like under $2. So I was like, you know what? Maybe that's a sign. Maybe you need to check it out. And that is At the Table of Wolves by Kay Kenyon. And this is a World War II. Yes. World War II, World War I? One of the World Wars stories with spies and that kind of thing, but there are also people with special powers, like psychic powers and things. And I'm very intrigued by that concept. You guys know I enjoy that time period, and I enjoy a little bit of fantasy and a funky spin on things. And this is a series as well, and if I enjoy it, I can obviously get the rest of them in the series. I've not really heard anybody talk about it, but it's one that I've almost bought so many times, and when I saw it for that price, I couldn't pass it up. These last two books are books that I've actually read previously, but I did not own and wanted to own them, obviously, so I bought them. And the first of those is All the Ever Afters by Danielle Dutton, the untold story of Cinderella's stepmother. I read this book last summer and loved it. It just barely... Did it make my top books of 2018? I can't remember if it did or not, but it didn't. It was because it was like right under, I just decided to not include this one, but don't let that take away from the fact that I thoroughly enjoyed this book. This book kind of takes the fairy tale out of it, but in a good way. It makes it very realistic, and the stepmother Agnes is just a really fascinating character, and it delves into the concepts of motherhood and marriage and who you are and how the people in your life affect who you are, and I highly, highly recommend it, and I'm really excited to have a copy for myself. And the other book that I had already previously read was a recommendation by Matthew Sharapa, and you all know I don't need many more reasons to buy a book other than Matthew said it's good. And when I checked it out from the library, loved it. I've been trying to find a copy of it since, and finally just decided Book Depository had it was time to bring it home. And that is Julie Buries, The Emperor's Ostrich. This is the story in which we are following, what's her name? Begonia, who is a dairymaid whose cow goes missing. And what's her cow's name? Alfalfa, that's right. And she meets this whole eccentric group of characters along the way. There's an ostrich that's associated with an emperor. There's a little bit of fantasy element in it. This is a heartwarming, touching, wonderfully charming middle grade book that you really shouldn't pass up, whether you're an adult or a child. Highly, highly recommend. Okay guys, there you have it. There's part 2 of my book haul. As you can see, I have acquired a lot of books recently, and this doesn't even include the books I had to purchase for round 2 of the BookTube prize, because I just wait for you guys to see my wrap up to see what books I read, because I just like the mystery of it. But if you guys have read any of these books, please let me know your thoughts, whether or not you enjoyed them, whether you did enjoy them, or just thought they were like, whatever. Or if you're interested in reading them now, I also like to hear all about that. But if you guys liked this video, please like it, and if you loved it, please subscribe, and we will see you in my next video. Happy reading!